My sister dumped her kids into an Uber and sent them to my apartment even after I told her nitrogen monoxide. But the moment I opened the door, my stomach dropped. Those weren't her kids, and the driver looked at me like he already knew my name. That's when I realized this wasn't a mistake. It was a setup. Before I continue, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and share this story. Because what happened next shocked even me. I stood frozen, staring at the two unfamiliar kids holding backpacks with my address written on sticky notes. The driver said, "Ma'am, your sister insisted you take them. She paid extra." His tone had a strange edge, like he knew there was drama coming. And he was right. My phone began blowing up, first texts, then calls. "All from my sister, Riley. Open the door. The kids should be there by now. Don't embarrass me." Her voice messages had that same bossy tone she used whenever she wanted to control me. I typed back a single line. "These aren't your kids." She left me on read. My heartbeat was loud in my ears as the two little kids stared up at me like they'd been told exactly who I was. One of them whispered, "Are you Ariella? She said you protect kids who have no one." What? Why would Riley tell them that? And why send strangers to me? Then my neighbor stepped into the hall. She took one look and whispered, "Ariella, please tell me Riley didn't get you into that mess again." Again? What mess was she talking about? My phone rang again, unnumber this time. A man's voice, cold and slow. "We know the kids reached you. Keep them inside." "We're coming." My chest tightened. Who was coming? Why did they want these kids? And what did this have to do with my sister? Before I could react, the little girl tugged my sleeve and whispered, "She said you'd keep us safe. She said you owed her." Owed her? My own sister barely helped me when I struggled. She only called when she needed money, babysitting, or drama. And now this? I pulled the kids inside and locked the door. My hands were shaking. The hallway lights flickered. I leaned against the wall, trying to steady my breath, but then a shadow moved outside my peephole. Someone was already at my door. The knock on my door wasn't a normal knock. It was slow, heavy, like someone wanted me to feel. Every hit through my bones. The kids flinched. My heartbeat jumped. Whoever stood out there wasn't here for a friendly visit. "Ariella," a man's voice said, deeper than before. "Open the door. We just want to talk." Just want to talk? People who just want to talk don't show up minutes after two terrified kids land at my doorstep. I backed the kids toward the kitchen, whispering, "Stay behind me. Don't make a sound." The little boy grabbed my hand, shaking hard. They said, if we ran, they'd find us. Every word from him felt like a punch. My phone buzzed again, this time Riley. I picked up, whispering through clenched teeth, "What did you do?" "Who are these kids?" Her answer was a soft, fake sweet laugh. "Ariella, relax. It's simple. Just help me this one time." "One time, Riley. There are men outside my door." She sighed like I was the problem. "Stop being dramatic. They're not dangerous if you cooperate. Just hold the kids for tonight. I'll explain later. Explain later." She didn't even explain now. Another loud bang shook the door. "Last chance, Ariella," the man's voice said. "We know she sent them to you. Let us in." My palms turned cold. They knew Riley. They expected me to obey. They assumed I was weak, like my whole family always believed. But then the little girl whispered something that flipped everything. She said they want us because of the envelope. "What envelope?" I asked. She pointed to her backpack. Inside was a thick, sealed envelope with my full name written on it. My sister didn't trust me. She used me. She dragged me into something dark. And she'd planned it. Another bang. The frame shook. The man outside growled, "Ariella, open the door now or we'll take it down." My breath caught, because right then, my doorknob started to turn. The doorknob twisted, like someone was testing how fast it would break off. My chest tightened. The kids squeezed behind me. I grabbed the nearest thing I could use as a weapon, a metal broom handle, holding it like my life depended on it. Then everything went still. Dead still. No knocking, no voices. Just silence. Silence is worse. Silence means they're planning something. My phone buzzed again. A text from Riley. Do not open the door. Just stay inside. Whatever happens, don't call the cops. I stared at the message, feeling my whole body heat up with anger. She dragged me into danger, sent strangers to my home, then told me to obey her like I was her puppet. I typed, "Why? Who are these kids?" No reply. I turned to the little girl. "Sweetheart, what's in the envelope? Did she tell you anything?" She looked scared, but nodded. She said, "To give it to you if the bad men found us. She said you're the only one who won't betray her." Betray her? The same sister who stole from me, lied to me, humiliated me at every family event. The same sister who treated me like a maid. Why would she suddenly trust me with something this big? I took a deep breath and tore open the envelope. Inside was a stack of documents, a flash drive, a handwritten letter. From Riley. My eyes scanned the first few lines and my hands went weak. If you're reading this, they already know I took the kids. I had no choice. They were using them as leverage. These kids are not mine. They're evidence. Against who? I flipped to the next page. But before I could read, a loud crash hit the hallway. Heavy footsteps. Men yelling. They weren't at my door anymore. They were kicking down doors on my floor, searching one by one. The boy tugged my arm, trembling. They said they'll take us and anyone helping us. I grabbed their backpacks, stuffed the envelope inside, and pulled them toward the emergency exit door. If I stayed, we were trapped. If I ran, maybe, just maybe, we had a chance. But as soon as I pushed the exit door open, I froze. Man stood at the bottom of the stairwell. Black jacket. Earpiece. Cold eyes. He smiled when he saw the kids, like he'd been waiting. "Ariella," he said calmly, "you should have opened the door. Now you've made it difficult." He took one step up. Then another. The kids clutched me tighter, and I realized I wasn't facing random thugs. This was organized. The man's boots echoed on the metal stairs, slow, confident, like he already knew I had no way out. I stepped back, shielding the kids, my breath shaking. "Stay behind me," I whispered, even though my voice barely came out. He smirked. "Riley should have known better. She always folds under pressure." Hearing my sister's name in his mouth made my stomach twist. "How do you know her?" I demanded. He raised a brow. "You think she told you everything?" "She told us plenty, until she ran." "Ran? From them? From whatever she was involved in?" He kept climbing, hand resting casually on something under his jacket, something that definitely wasn't friendly. "We don't need you," he said. "We just need the kids. Give them to me and walk away." The little boy's grip tightened around my hand. "No," he whispered. "Please, don't let him." And that was it. That fear in his voice flipped a switch inside me, something fierce. Something I didn't know I had. I scanned the stairwell. One path up behind us. One path down. Blocked by him. I had seconds. Then I saw it, the fire alarm on the wall. Without thinking, I slammed the broom handle into it. A deafening alarm exploded through the building. Sprinklers burst to life, soaking everything. The man cursed, shielding his face as water drenched him. "Run," I shouted. We bolted up the stairs, the kids slipping, water splashing under our shoes. My pulse hammered in my ears. Behind us, the man roared, "Stop! You can't run forever!" We pushed through the door onto my floor, but it wasn't empty. Smoke filled the hallway. Actual smoke. Someone had lit a small fire near the elevators. Probably to force residents out or to flush us out. I covered the kids' mouths with my sleeve and moved fast, heart pounding. But through the smoke, I saw something drop to the ground near my door. A phone. Riley's phone. Cracked. Burned at the edges. Still unlocked. She had been here. Not long ago. New message popped up on her screen right in front of me. "Did you deliver the kids to Ariella? Confirm immediately." Deliver. Like they were packages. Like I had been part of their plan without knowing. I grabbed the phone instinctively. Then I heard voices, more men charging up the stairwell behind us. I had one choice left. Take the kids and run to the roof. I dragged them toward the rooftop exit door, smoke thickening, alarms blaring, footsteps closing in fast. My heart was slamming so hard I felt dizzy. But when I pushed open the rooftop door, I froze again, because standing there, soaking wet from the sprinklers, breathing hard, was Riley. Her eyes were wild. Her hair stuck to her face, and in her shaking hands, she held another envelope. "Ariella," she gasped. "You need to listen. They're not who you think. And if we don't leave now, none of us will make it." Behind us, the stairwell door rattled. The men were seconds away. Riley grabbed my arm so hard it hurt, her voice shaking as she whispered, "Ariella, they're coming up. We have seconds. Listen to me, please." I yanked my arm away. "You dragged me into this. You used me. You lied. Why would I help you now?" She swallowed hard, eyes full of panic. "Because I had no one else to trust, and because those men, they're not after the kids." She pointed at the envelope in her hands. "They're after this." My heart dropped. "What's in it?" Before she could answer, the rooftop door burst open behind us. The metal slammed against the wall as the men stormed in, 3 of them now. The leader stepped forward, drenched, furious. "End of the line, ladies." Riley shoved the envelope into my hands so fast I barely managed to catch it. "Run," she whispered. "Take the kids. Don't look back." I stared at her. "What about you?" She gave me a sad, broken smile. "This mess started with me. It shouldn't end with you." Then she did something I never thought she had the courage to do. She stepped toward the men, blocking their view of us. "Hey!" she yelled, lifting her hands. "You want the files?" "I'll talk." The man's head snapped toward her. He grinned. "Smart choice." But Riley turned her face just enough so I could see the tears streaming down her cheeks. "Go," she mouthed. Everything inside me screamed to drag her with us. But the kids were shaking. Terrified. Waiting for me. And the men were closing in. I grabbed the kids' hands and sprinted across the rooftop toward the fire escape ladder. Wind whipped across my face. My legs burned. Alarms wailed below us. Behind me, I heard shouting, then a struggle. I didn't dare look back. We climbed down the fire escape as fast as we could, metal rattling under our feet. The rooftop shouting faded behind us. My breath hurt. My heart felt like it would snap. But we finally reached the alley, lungs burning, clothes soaked, hands trembling. We ran street after street, block after block, until we finally reached an old closed cafe with lights off. After lights off, I pushed the kids inside, locked the back door, and collapsed onto a chair. My hands were shaking as I opened the second envelope, Riley's last move. Inside were bank statements, offshore transfers, photos, recorded calls, contracts, all exposing the men, all tying them to crimes, all showing how they stole kids for leverage, on how Riley had taken these 2 to save them. At the bottom was one final line in Riley's handwriting. "Ariella, I knew you'd protect them, and I knew you'd finish what I couldn't." My chest tightened. I wiped my face, not even realizing I was crying. Then the little girl looked up at me and whispered, "Are we safe now?" I took a shaky breath. "No," I whispered, "not yet, but we will be." Because now I had everything, the documents, the proof, the kids, and the truth. And when the world found out what these men were doing, everything would change. I closed the envelope, looked out into the dark street, and whispered to myself, they messed with the wrong sister. The story didn't end tonight, but the revenge? The justice? It had just begun.